Hey everybody, John the Other here. Obviously. Now you might think I'm amused because I'm laughing. That's really not what laughing means when you're dealing with me. I'm pretty salty right now. I'm a little teed off, to be honest. I'm going to tell you a little story for my American friends who might not follow the intricacies of Canadian government. Hopefully this won't bore you. It's about a scandal. It's about public extortion. It's about bribery. It's about open and rampant criminality in the sitting present federal liberal government. Now, the Justin Trudeau Liberal government is in no way liberal other than in name. They are a hard left, ideologically possessed, I would say cult. They are cult-like. And Trudeau's apparent lack of intelligent insight or competence, his complete lack of a resume, his empty moral character, his empty intellectual character, that he is a pablum churning machine. That, like, I mean, you could just swat him aside and go grab the lowest performing first semester gender studies student from any community college, and they would spew out the exact same platitudes and empty rhetoric that Trudeau spews out when you try to ask him a question. He is as worthless as a plate of piss. Well, his government has been racked by scandal after scandal after scandal, indicating to anybody with two brain cells that he's not immoral, he's not corrupt in any traditional sense of somebody who had an ethical compass and then lost it due to the temptations of power. He's actually just morally vacant. He's just an appetite. He's just an empty suit. He's an empty vessel, and he happens to be filled by ideological hard leftists pouring that ideological Kool-Aid into him. So he just reflects the temperature and the color of the water around him. That doesn't exonerate him. I mean, your responsibility as an adult human being is to, have a moral compass. So he's not exonerated. But to think that he is a sinister, mustache-twirling Machiavellian mastermind affecting all this open criminality and corruption and theft and misallocation of public funds and fraud gives him too much credit. He still has to go, though. Anyway, scandal after scandal after scandal, interfering with the justice minister, getting bribed, accepting bribes from the Aga Khan, groping people, he's everything wrong. He is the embodiment of everything wrong with the hyper-progressive, ideologically possessed, hard, radical left. Going out and kneeling in a Black Lives Matter, one of the first Black Lives Matter protests in Canada. Well, Black Lives Matter initially began as a protest against authoritarians. Well, who's more of an authority than the Prime Minister of the country? You can't join in a protest against yourself and then still pretend that you have integrity. It just doesn't work. Anyway, before I get too worked up, too off track, the latest scandal in Canada, in the latest Trudeau scandal, is that the Trudeau government gave a no-bid $500 million contract to a charity called the We Charity. Now, the We Charity is weirdly a charity. They're kind of more like an indoctrination cult for, high school and college-age students, indoctrinating them into the values and the talking points and the rhetoric and the worldview of this hyper-partisan, hyper-progressive ideological left. And they have big, stadium-filling events in all the schools who are, leftists, truck these kids into stadiums and, jazz them up with all this, we're going to change the world. And really it's a soft sell of utopian communitarian thinking. So the We Charity gets given $500 million by the Trudeau government to run what has existed already for 20 years as the summer jobs program. So why do you need the We Charity to do anything at all when the program already exists? It's not like there was the need to be filled and a whole bunch of companies tried to, get the contract, and the We Charity through hook or crook got the contract, although it was through hook or crook. The thing was already operating. It was called the Summer Jobs Program. It was federal funding for summer jobs in Canada to let students get employment and get some money and go back to school with, cash in their pockets. Well, never mind why you needed anybody to do this at all, because it existed already. The We Charity got the contract because they employed a whole bunch of members of the Trudeau family and paid them exorbitant speaking fees. So there is an obvious, immediate, and glaring conflict of interest that the thing had a no-bid contract, that it went to a company that basically bribed Trudeau to get this contract. And then the We Charity did the weirdest thing ever. They took a whole bunch of this money that was from taxpayers to run the summer jobs program, and they bought Toronto real estate with it. Well, that's not a charity at all. That's a money laundering scam. That's a criminal enterprise. But never mind. Anyway, Bill Morneau, the former finance minister of Canada, I hope this isn't too rambly. I'm a little angry, so this might be rambly. Anyway, Bill Morneau, the former finance minister, who is Trudeau's bosom buddy, who has helped run up a $1.2 trillion debt, and 5 days before he was fired, everything was groovy. Trudeau issued a statement. The PMO's office issued a statement saying, yeah, Bill Morneau and I are bosom buddy. I'll put the actual quote on the screen. Well, he gets fired, and we have a new finance minister. Now, before I tell you who it is, I mean, you can Google it. There was a committee that approved the money going to the We Charity. Remember, Bill Morneau was fired because of the We Charity scandal. Never mind what they say, that's why he was fired. The committee that approved the $500 million payment, unnecessary, completely uncalled for, creating a summer jobs program that already existed with a charity that didn't need to be there in the first place. The approval for that money to the We Charity was chaired by Chrystia Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister at the time. Guess who is the new finance minister? Chrystia Freeland, the person who approved the money to the We Charity, the reason why Bill Morneau, the former finance minister, was fired. Do you see the word corruption? Now, aside from being incompetently, wildly, overtly corrupt, to me this sends a message. This isn't just fucking a bullshit shift of cabinet. This is the fact that she was the chairman of the committee that approved the unlawful, the fraudulent transfer of public funds to the We Charity that required the firing of the finance minister, Bill Morneau. The chairman of the committee that did that, getting the new finance minister job, that's a message to you and me as Canadians. That is the Prime Minister's office telling you as a Canadian, haha, your tax money, guess what I'm going to do with it? Whatever I want. Haha, you can't stop me. Haha, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to be openly and wildly corrupt. I'm going to steal your kids' future. I'm going to indebt your children. And you can't stop me. And no matter how many times I get caught, what is it, 6, 7, 8, 9 times now? 3 times found guilty of ethics violations? Doesn't matter. That's our Prime Minister. That's the public who keep voting him in. I'm a little salty. But thanks for watching, and as always, have a lovely, lovely day.